So I had originally planned this video as a picture-in-picture narration, but I had a couple of things come up like pretty much in the middle / near the end of the editing of the narration, and it ended up, kind of ruining the take, so I figured I'd just run it as a regular battle. But let this be known, I guess, as my first actual Wi-Fi upload on this channel, which I'm very excited to bring for you guys. If you are not familiar with this team, I actually did a small showdown session with it on PokeMMD's channel, aka Joey. I'll see if I can plug that in the link, but most of you guys that are subbed to me either A, came from Joey's channel, or B, already know of Joey and are already subbed to his channel. But for the small minority that, were not aware of the session, or are not aware of Joey's channel, I'll still link it in the description anyway. Somebody suggested to me on livestream that I should do a bunny team because bunny offense is very good. And I was like, I've never heard of bunny offense. And they're like, well, it's Mega Lot Bunny, and then you have Diggersby, and then you have Azumarill. And I was like, well, Victini, if you Google what an apple rabbit is, I mean, it's not an actual species of rabbit, but it is definitely based on a snack that is based on a rabbit. And the way I see it, that's good enough for me. So I'm actually going to go ahead and slap in a Victini onto this team. And we ended up talking about this on stream for a long time for what are good teammates for this team. That, they don't necessarily have to fit the theme. I think 4 bunnies is enough. 3 bunnies is probably overkill. But 4 is what some people mentioned in the comment section / Joey came up with the name. It's the quad squad. It's the quad bunny squad. And I'm a big fan of it. So I'm actually going to go ahead and lead off this match, because I know he's going to want to end up leading with his Galvantula. I lead off with Lopunny to get the fake out, and then after I Mega, I'm going to end up being faster than him. I'm not sure if he was really necessarily aware of that fact, so I end up going for a fake out and return just to break the sash, and then completely just quickly dispose of it. The smarter play would have been for him to switch out his Galvantula into something that could have taken it. I learned later that Donphan was not really as much of a reliable switch as one would normally think it is, but we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. For now, I know I cannot one-shot a Dusclops with my Lopunny, especially from full HP, so I decided to switch out into my Rotom. I don't necessarily care about anything this thing's going to go for, and it turns out he's actually a Will-O-Wisp Infestation set. I don't really necessarily care about being stuck in on this thing because A, I have Rest, and B, I'm not really stuck. I don't know what the rest of his set is, and I do want to see it. I don't want to be in for any, nasty surprises down the road. I also want to stay in here and burn it. That's probably my main goal, because this thing does, thrive on sustaining itself. If it has Pain Split, it'll coax it out of it. If it has Rest, it will also coax it out of it eventually, but I'm Resto Chesta, so I don't lose any of my offensive momentum by going for this. And it turns out that I believe I just end up going for the Rest right now, just to get rid of the burn. That way all I have is Infestation going on. And as far as I know, all I've seen is Will-O-Wisp and Infestation off of this thing. We're sure to see some kind of recovery move, just going to be Pain Split or Rest, but I don't know what his last move is, and it seems to me that he keeps going for Infestation because he does not have another attacking move, which is kind of a dead ringer for that. I don't know if it's it's not Substitute, because he definitely would have gone for it by now. Curse seems a little odd on this set, so I'm just kind of left in the dark as to, what it could be. We have a recovery move, we have, the backbone of this thing, and I'm just going to end up going out into my my Diggersby on the switch because I figured he was just going to end up going for another Infestation. He reveals his third move, the fourth move being under assumption that it is a recovery move, is Toxic, and I'm actually definitely okay with Diggersby being Toxic over Burned, just because I don't get an attack drop off of anything. And I'm actually now just able to get off a knockoff, and nothing on his team is really going to appreciate this knockoff at all. Even Sceptile, if it wants to switch in, it will still keep its item because it is this Mega, but it's still going to take very, very, very heavy damage. It's not a very reliable pivot in this scenario, but it is a very good check, which is how he plays it. So I knock out his Dusclops, he's going to bring in a Sceptile. I don't like that switch in for me, so I'm actually going to go ahead and get out of here and go into my Togekiss. And the one thing I have noticed about this Togekiss is I made a special defensive one because I need a Defogger on this team. I don't have hazards, but I can get rid of hazards, and that's totally fine by me. But Mega Sceptile, on paper, for most of the stuff it runs, cannot touch Togekiss at all. It doesn't normally get any poison moves that it enjoys running on its set, and, it's Grass Stab, resisted by Flying, it's Dragon Stab, immune to by Fairy, Focus Blast, quad resisted by Fairy and Flying. It's not a good matchup. But this is also not a good matchup for me as he brings in his Chansey. So I'm going to go ahead and go out into my Diggersby, accidentally predict the Toxic, and by accidentally, I mean I totally predicted the Toxic. I predicted more so the status condition than anything else, but getting that was pretty sweet. And we're also in another situation right now where I want to knock off, and nothing is going to be around to take it. But I figure I might as well just go for the return and see how much it does. And Rotom's not a switch to Diggersby, ladies and gentlemen. Like, look at how much that does. I'm not sure if that was a defensive one, and I say was, like, immediately, just because it left the field as quickly as it came onto the field. Like, a Choice Banded Diggersby one-shotting Rotom is really cool. I'm surprised I didn't use this Pokemon much sooner, and I'm really loving it. So as soon as Sceptile comes in, I have no reason. 10 out of 10 times when that Sceptile comes in, I'm gonna be as sure to switch in Togekiss as he's gonna be to go for Protect. And I don't really understand why he has Protect. It doesn't make much sense to me because Sceptile is ordinarily pretty safe to bring in as a check and then Mega and go for that. But you know what was weird? Watching this Chansey go for Metronome and get off a Stockpile. I forgot to mention where I got this game, by the way. This is a passerby game because we made the team on the stream, and I didn't feel like playing anybody that had already seen the majority of the team because it was built on stream. So I figured, you know, I'm just gonna go with regular passerbys on the PSS on the bottom screen. And then this was some guy that said he wanted a battle, so it was definitely an interesting one. I was taking it, you know, mildly serious up until the metronome part, which ended up being more funny than anything. And it let me use Diggersby a lot more than I really wanted to. Not that I didn't want to use it that much, but it gave me plenty of opportunities to bring it in and get some free knockoffs. So he's going to go for a Razor Wind. It does like maybe what? Like 2 turns worth of Toxic, only because it's Stab. It's still not doing much, and he still doesn't have any knockoff switch-ins. Like, this Donphan right here, you're going to see right now that this is not a switch-in because of how much it does. And it turns out he is Weakness Policy Donphan. It does around half, but, I mean, Donphan is still a very, very bulky Pokemon, and it's not Stab for me, but it did get the Weakness Policy off, which is a very big thing in my book. I think the only... and honestly, looking back at it, I mean, Rotom wouldn't really even care about Donphan, even if it was Weakness Policy, because it can't really touch me unless it has knockoff itself. But I've already lost my item from the Infestation thing against Dusclops earlier, so I don't really mind. I thought he was going to switch here to Sceptile, which is why I chose to double out into Togekiss, but it turns out he has Endeavor, so that's fine. I'm just going to stay in here and do whatever. Ice Shard is not going to do that much because, you know, I'm fully defensive. On top of that, he's not boosted in any way. I don't know if he's fully offensive Donphan either. But I figured I'd just go for the Air Slash right there to see if it would knock him out from half. And it turns out it does. Seeing Weakness Policy as opposed to like Assault Vest or Leftovers kind of indicates to me that he might be, you know, not as heavily HP invested. He might be a little bit more in attack. Because of that, you know, you could probably take him out from half pretty easy from there. And Togekiss is not really anything to sleep on either. I'm going to go ahead and go for the Roost as the Chansey comes in, knowing that there's not really much of a chance it's, pun intended, it's not going to do much to me. And it turns out that he's not actually Natural Cure Chansey. I'm not sure what else this thing gets. Does it get Serene Grace? I'm so used to seeing it with Natural Cure, it's very weird for me to see it actually come in and still be paralyzed. So that was a thing. I'm not sure where he got this Chansey from, or if he's just using all these Pokemon just because they're, you know, all shiny, which was kind of a cool thing to see. But because of that, I don't think it has Seismic Toss, so he's just running Focus Blast. I'm gonna go for a Play Rough, and then yeah, that's pretty much it for the Chansey. He went for Aromatherapy, and I don't think that really covered anything else on his team except for getting rid of the Paralysis on himself. So I believe at this point in the match, he's actually down to just his Sceptile, and because I got the opportunity to heal up against the Chansey earlier with Togekiss, it's been in the bag. As long as I had Togekiss, I was okay. I only used Lopunny, I think, on the first couple of turns, and then I believe you guys haven't even seen me switch out my Victini. That has not needed to enter the field for any reason whatsoever. So, weirdly built team. I saw it and I was like, this is going to be a very, very difficult thing to break through because of Dusclops and Chansey, but he played him weird. And on top of that, he insists on going for Protect on a lot of these moves, as if I'm going to choke or something of the sort, or maybe it's just like a last-ditch, like, be bitter at me kind of thing and just stall out a couple more seconds of my time. But he can't do anything. Focus Blast, how much HP was I at? I was at 179 and it brought me down to 164. So it did 15. It didn't even do 10%. And I mean, Mega Sceptile does not have the highest special attack, but Focus Blast is still a pretty powerful move, but it just gets cut by a lot. So anyways, that's the game. What else did I have on this team? So Togekiss, definitely MVP. And Diggersby was pretty much... Actually, Diggersby probably MVP. Diggersby and Togekiss can share, because that was how that game turned out. Anyways, that's technically my first Wi-Fi battle on this channel, so I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, you can leave a like, rating, comment, subscribe, do your thing. You guys know how that goes. And as always, I'm going to be hanging around here, you know, just kind of doing the uploads and stuff. I got a lot scheduled for you guys. I have to finish my Showdown session. As soon as I finish Sonic, I'm going to start rolling out something else, or I might just go extra on Kingdom Hearts, because I'm only going to be uploading the story missions for Kingdom Hearts. And once I get finished with Kingdom Hearts as well, I can move into some different territory. I do have a roadmap for things I would like to play. And I will be doing more Wi-Fi streams as well at that point. That will probably slow down to a good crawl once I finish with Kingdom Hearts, and then that way I can get that going. I'm just trying not to do too much Pokemon streams so I don't get fed up with the game before Sun Moon comes out, because I'm already really excited for it. But Oras is just... It's a little bit of a drag for me to try to do it, because it's been the same thing as it has been for a couple of years. So anyways, I'm rambling as I always do near the end of these videos. If you've stuck around this long, love you. Thanks for watching my stuff. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one.